Am I the a-hole for refusing to share my engagement party with my non-engaged sister? I just got engaged to my partner of 4 years, and my parents said they would throw us an engagement party. They are paying for everything, but want to make it a shared engagement party for both me and my sister. I have a slight problem with this because my sister isn't actually engaged. She has been dating her boyfriend for 12 years, and he gave her a promise ring shortly after my engagement. We're all in our late 20s/early 30s, so pretty much everyone except for my sister and our parents thinks that it is kind of childish and ridiculous. I have had many conversations with my sister over the years that have boiled down to look, if he wanted to marry you, he would, but she has stayed with him and held out hope. And I suppose she took the promise ring as a close enough kind of gesture because she is treating it exactly like an engagement ring. My fiancé reached out to her boyfriend because he was equally confused and said, "Are you guys engaged?" And he outright said that they weren't. Nonetheless, my sister is showing the ring to everyone and even putting together a wedding planning binder. I feel bad for her, I really do, but she's also a grown woman and I don't feel like I should have to enable this farce. I've been dealing with "don't forget about, sister. Make sure, sister, is included" my whole life, and I was really hoping that my engagement, if nothing else, would actually be my own. I'd rather just not have an engagement party at all than play along with this weird fantasy. My fiancé would rather have a weird party than no party, and my parents are scolding me for being so selfish to want to exclude my sister. Will I be the a-hole for asking my friend to return the expensive wedding gift I gave her after she and her fiancé broke up? About 3 weeks ago, my friend broke up with her fiancé a month before their wedding, would have been this weekend. She found him fooling around with another girl and called off the wedding. It's a huge mess and I feel awful for her. It truly is a devastating time for her and I've been as supportive as possible through it all. She has been one of my closest friends for the past 15-ish years and she is basically a sister to me. Because of this, when I found out they were engaged at the beginning of the year, I wanted to give her a truly special wedding gift. She has always been into interior designing and has wanted an Eames lounge chair for a long time. I found one for $4,500, which was a good deal, so I got it for her. I'm fortunate to be able to afford this, but it's still quite a lot. She was ugly crying when I told her about it and she was extremely grateful for it. However, now that the wedding is called off, I'm not sure what to do. I could still use that money if I were to get it back. Is it rude to ask for her to return it or at least pay me back for the chair? I feel like I would be such an a-hole for doing so, but some other friends, who aren't close to her, said she absolutely should at least return it so I can get my money back. She's going through a lot now, so I don't want to press her too much, and honestly if I never see the money again, that's fine. But still, $4,500 is a good amount of change that I would be happy to have if possible. Am I the a-hole for taking the money my grandparents saved for college and agreeing with them that my half-sister isn't their grandkid? I will try to keep this short. I am 18 and when I was around 10 my mom cheated on my father and got pregnant. This resulted in my half-sister Kathy. Soon after my parents cut my grandparents out of our life. My parents stayed together. I turned 18 3 months ago and my grandparents reached out. They informed me over lunch that when Kathy was born they made it clear they do not see her as a grandkid. That she is the product of my mom cheating on her son. They refused to make a college fund for her and my parents cut them out due to it. They informed me that I have a college fund from them and I decided to take it. I came home and kept it to myself. I have been reconnecting with them and it came to a head today. My parents learned who I was hanging out with. This resulting in an argument for taking the money when they shunned Kathy. I told them they were right to not consider her a grandkid and to screw them for cutting them out of my life. They haven't talked to me since and I am doubting myself. Since it was asked multiple times, Kathy bio dad has partial custody, my dad never adopted her, which according to some Redditors means that bio dad has to give up his rights. Am I the a-hole for beating my parents to the chase and moving out in the middle of the night? I, 18F, overheard conversations with my mom and my dad, 39F and 40 meters, about how they planned to kick me out shortly after my 18th birthday. The way they were talking about it seemed like they were dead serious and the way it was brought up multiple times made it seem like they were going to kick me out too. So, I decided that I wouldn't give them the chance to kick me out and made plans with my friend Riley, 17F, to stay at her place until I graduated and moved into a college dorm or had an apartment of my own. Riley's parents were horrified by it. They thought my parents would kick me out the second I turned 18 and agreed to let me stay at their place as long as I graduated high school. Riley, her parents, and my boyfriend Cole, 18M, came after midnight to help me take my belongings to their car and drive me to Riley's house. My parents woke up in the middle of this, and asked me what the hell was going. I kinda shrugged and told them that I was moving out before they could kick me out. My parents tried to deny this, and attempted to stop me from leaving, but there was nothing that they could do since I'm a legal adult. By the way, I wasn't just going to leave in the middle of the night without any goodbye. I already put a note on the kitchen table where my mom goes to first in the morning, explaining what happened. Right now, I'm at Riley's house in their spare bedroom, and I've gotten bombarded with calls from my parents asking me to come back and not to tell my grandparents about this. In one text, my mom called me an ungrateful bitch for leaving in the middle of the night, and that she should have kicked me out sooner. Am I the a-hole for ignoring my selfish neighbor when my baby cries? I am the father of a 1-year-old toddler. Recently, she started teething, as her molars have started to come in. First, it was the top ones for about a week, then we had a week's break, and now the bottom ones are coming in. It's clearly causing my daughter a lot of pain, especially at night. Before she was a good sleeper, but now it's been rough. She's been waking up around 1 a.m. and then 3 a.m. daily, screaming with her little fingers in her mouth. My wife and I have tried comforting her, bringing her in our bed. She sleeps in our room anyway and her crib is next to our bed, but normally she likes to sleep cuddled up when she's uncomfortable. We've even given her baby Motrin to help with the pain, but she still screams for about 10 to 20 minutes each time until we are able to settle her. It's shrill and it sucks, but there's not much we can do beyond what we are already doing. We live on the ground floor of a new condo building. It's made of heavy concrete and decently soundproofed, but not perfect. Above us lives a single woman in her late 20s, early 30s. This is an expensive part of town in a new building, so we can assume she's decently moneyed. She also keeps her balcony door open all day and night that faces into our courtyard. She has been punishing us during the day by blasting loud music directly into her unit by putting a stereo next to her balcony. We are on the ground floor and have a fully enclosed courtyard so it vibrates around. She's got great music taste, and my daughter will dance to it all day long. So while my wife hates her intention, I think it's worked out just fine. Until now. Last night she came barging down at 3 a.m. and rang our bell 4 times while we were trying to settle our daughter. Motrin works for about 8 hours, so by 3 a.m. we have to give her another dose and wait through the cries, cradling her for 15 to 20 minutes for it to kick in again. My wife, a strong-tempered petite woman, amplified by her first year of motherhood, wanted to go fight her then and there, but I said let's just concentrate on settling the baby and ignore her. I also didn't want to make the baby any more upset than she already was. So yeah, I just let her fume outside my door at 3 a.m.